came out, but now it's not the time for games.
DA explaining himself to the TV.
He's right on the 1 yard line.
Still in pause mode, everybody.
Oh, here we go. Oh, 1 more yard.
The techniques.
The eagle is moving.
He's in the end zone.
30 yards away, everybody.
Really showing off the 64 yard dash.
20 yards away, everybody. Yeah. 10 yards away, everybody. Stand by.
Are you ready?
Jared, clear path. Move.
All right, fellas. Look, I thought, overall, I thought another good practice. I was just telling the team, I mean, there were some things, there's been some things I've seen, defensively each day that I've really been pleased about. And there's been some things offensively that I've been really pleased about. So, what you're looking for is a little bit of that, ebb and flow to practice. And you don't ever want to see one side of the ball dominate the whole practice. I don't think we've seen that yet. And so I think the one thing, defensively that, has been encouraging is we've gotten our hands on the football a significant amount of times. We've made some plays, taking the ball away, which has been impressive. And then look, offensively, I think there's been, throughout the course of the last 3 days, I think there's been some explosive plays down the field, which has been encouraging to see. So I think we're making progress, and yet we still have a long way to go.
Dean, what have you seen in terms of tempo, pace, and energy so far?
Yeah, look, I think it's been good. Look, we're day 3 of camp. We're still, we just put on some shells today, so we still haven't even got into, full contact practice and things of that nature. So what I've been pleased with is the focus, the energy, the attention to detail. And look, like I told the guys, I mean, we start practice at 9 a.m. and we're getting done around, 7 p.m. at night. And so I'm asking for, give me 100% focus and concentration from 9 to 7, and then I think they need to have some time to relax a little bit and hang out as a team. So that's kind of been the process here.
Dennis, can you talk about the balance with your backup quarterbacks, the balance between being aggressive versus making a smart throw?
Well, look, I think every day you're out here is a learning experience, and in particular when you're talking about young players. And so, I think, the thing that we have to do is, we have to get those guys to understand, when we're talking about the routes, understand what the progression is and make sure they're going through and reading out the progression and not playing rat ball. And so if you read it out and go through your progression and the defense makes a nice play, you get a chance to go look at it and you get a chance to make the corrections. It's the ones where you're like, I think Twitter would say WTF or something like that, right? Okay, where and it's like, what are you doing here? So I think that's the balance. You know what I mean? Stay within the scheme, do your job, read out the progressions, and if you're doing that and the defense makes a play, then we try to help you make a better decision next time.
Okay, what do you think about Zach Haynes' play today?
Look, I'd have to go back, and there's so much you're looking at right now. It'd be hard for me to really comment in particular. I know he made one really good throw on a deep end cut in that last team period, which is impressive to see. So, I think before I made any type of evaluation on that, I'd probably have to go back and look at the tape.
It looked like Marshawn left early and didn't come back.
Yeah, he left with a little bit of a hip flexor.
We also saw Kendra Miller, just
practice and before? Is he doing any better?
He's going through the hamstring rehab process, so that's where he's at.
How much does like the blocking responsibility change for Chris and Rashid and the receivers just in this scheme? Is it a lot more?
Well, I think it's probably emphasized more in this scheme and what they have to do. And look, obviously the number one job of a wide receiver is to catch the football. That's the number one thing that he gets paid to do. Okay, but to have the opportunity to catch the football, you have to be willing to do the other dirty jobs, which allows the offense to be successful. No different than defensively, you know, and these rushers get paid to rush the quarterback, all right, but you have to earn the right to rush the quarterback. And so I look at it kind of the same way.
Dennis, Carl Granderson had a pretty good, solid team drills, couple of sacks. What have you thought about his game so far?
Well, look, here's what I would say about Carl. Carl comes to work every day and gives us everything he has. And so when you watch his development from when he first got here, 230 pounds, to now he's 280-something pounds, from a guy that didn't really know whether the ball was pumped or stuffed to now a guy that's understanding different blocking schemes and recognizing pre-snap formations and what type of plays that he can anticipate, and then reacting to the ones that aren't what we might anticipate. But that comes through a lot of effort and hard work on his part, both physically and mentally. And I think that's where you see guys improve, and that's what Carl's done.
Have you seen that effort and hard work still there even after having the season
Absolutely,
that he had?
absolutely. That's just who he is. It's just what he is, you know. And look, when you train yourself that way, it just becomes a part of your DNA, a part of who you are, part of what you're all about. And really, money is not a motivating factor. Motivating factor is intrinsic. You know, what do you want to, what are you pushing yourself to be? Not some sort of extrinsic factor like money or anything like that.
I thought it was interesting. I'm sure it was just an oversight and not intentional, but you were listing all the defensive ends that there's question marks about, and it was to Chase, Cam, and Peyton, and Isaiah, and didn't list Carl. He's kind of a known.
Yeah, well, look, I mean, I think Carl's earned the right to, be somebody that we're really going to count on. And I anticipate that we're really going to count on him. I list all those other guys because you got a couple of young guys that, haven't produced at a level that we need them to. You have a guy like Cam that's produced at a really, really high level for a long time. And can he still do those things? Can Chase, come off the injury and produce at a level that is commensurate with where he was drafted? I think all those guys have variables that you're looking at, whereas Carl's a guy that just continued to improve and improve and improve. He's not coming off any sort of injuries or, anything like that. So, and yet I think Carl is trying to prove that he's, in an elite classification.
Yeah.
And I think that's where his motivation is.
Dennis, do you think that Peyton Turner's the guy that you can trust? Or he still has to show it.
He's got to show it. Yeah. I think him and Foskey both are in that boat of, prove it. I think both of them have the ability. Both of them are fully capable, but I think both of them are in the prove it mode.
Can you look at any evaluations on Chase Young through what he's done in 3 days?
It's really hard to say. I'll say this. I'll say that man, the first time I saw him, he was way bigger than I thought he was going to be.
That's exactly what I said.
He's huge. I mean, he fits the mold of really what we're looking for, and I think from an athletic standpoint, from a speed standpoint, he's going to bring some stuff to the table for us. So, just from a physical skill set standpoint, I've been highly impressed. I've been highly impressed with his intrinsic motivation to prove himself. That's been cool to see, and so look, we're anxious to get him involved a little bit more. He went through all the individual drills with the D-line today. We'll slowly incorporate him into some more activity as we keep going, and yet we're going to be, smart with him and try not to rush him too much.
For the pass rush, like, I think if you look statistically last year, your defense finished maybe more in the middle of the pack rather than the top 10 statistically anyway. How much of like last year's pass rush problems, inconsistencies, like kind of contributed to that?
To
Just like the overall statistical, I think you guys were like 14th in yards.
Yeah, well, look, I mean, I think obviously the pass rush is an area that we've got to improve on. And I think we've look, our standard is what our standard is, and we've set a high standard around here defensively in terms of what we expect, and there's nobody on our defense that's going to shy away from that, and so. From that standpoint, yeah, we've got to be a lot better, and I think the pass rush is part of it. Our ability to finish on the quarterback has got to be part of it.
So, we talked about also last year about like explosive plays and stuff. Like, I know there's more than one thing into it, but like, would a better pass? This may sound really obvious, but would a better pass rush take care of those explosive plays, or?
I bet you can answer that question.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Right. The answer is yes. I mean, look, we got to rush the passer better, and look, there's no more important coordination on defensive football than in the passing game and the coordination between the pass rush and the pass coverage. You can cover as well as you can possibly cover. If you can't get to the quarterback, eventually they get open, right? And if you can get to the quarterback as fast as you want to, but if you're not covering anybody, all right, or you're not contesting throws, then you're not going to be able to cover. On the back end, so you're not going to be able to sack the quarterback. So those two things have to work together, and so we got to be more coordinated in that area.
Let's take two more, please.
Watching Demario Davis today, really demonstrative in how he's kind of getting on his teammates who are coming in second, third team. When it comes to Tyron, have you noticed him doing more of the same? Like,
so I would say, from a leadership standpoint, Double D is going to be more the vocal out front leader. And it's going to be more demonstrative, and I think Tyron's more going to pull them aside, and have kind of the, for lack of a better term, backroom conversations with guys. But I think both of them have their own way of, leadership and bringing some guys along. You probably see it a little bit more out of, a guy like Demario, maybe a guy like Cam. But I think all three of those guys, from a defensive standpoint, have some great leadership ability.
Is he in that same group of players that just have gotten better mentally, along with the physical, even though the physical traits may have kind of gone away a little bit?
Yeah. I think at some point, that's what you're really. I mean, more often than not, guys that have really long, extended careers in our league, they're not doing it because they're the best athletes. They're doing it because, they understand the mental part of the game, and they understand the ability to take care of their bodies. One more.
Yeah, might as well complete the defensive end rundown. We talked about Isaiah Husky making some flash plays in the spring. Is he continuing to develop heading into camp the way you?
Yeah, look, I think I've seen some good things out of him in the first 3 days of camp, and so that's been. There's a lot of encouraging signs. The arrow in my mind is pointed up, but we're still at the bottom of the mountain. You know what I mean? We still got another 3,500 feet of climbing, and so we just got to keep working. All right, thanks, guys.
Is that accurate mountain number? Huh? Is that accurate? 3,500 feet. That's a mountain.
Depends on where you start.
Right? Higher elevation.
I was impressed with the knowledge.
How you guys doing?
So, did we get the new extension thing?
Absolutely. It's absolutely a blessing, to be a part of this organization and to continue to be able to fight for this team and the city. It's everything I could imagine, and to be a part of all of it and continue to grow as a player with everybody out here is a blessing.
How did that kind of come about? Did they approach you? Did your agent approach them? Like, what was kind of the timetable like of getting things done?
It was kind of my agent felt like it was the right time to at least try to get something long term. We feel like this is the right place to be, and this is the best place for me to continue to grow as a receiver and as a player. So that's kind of how it went.
What kind of security or what kind of faith, I guess, does that show, or what kind of security does that give to a player who came in undrafted and everything's kind of unsettled when you get here?
Yeah, no, I think it shows that they believe in the hard work that I put in to get in this position, and I got to continue to grow. I can't let this just be the settle point. I got to continue to grow as a player and as a teammate. And it means everything to me just for them to invest in me as an athlete, and I got to continue to grow and make it mean something.
I know part of that growth really is being able to expand your route tree and put it on display. How much are you looking forward to being able to do that this season?
Yeah, no, I'm absolutely looking forward to all of us receivers are excited for the expansion within the offense, and I feel like all of us, kind of like Chris said in OTAs, kind of play our strengths in different ways. So we're all excited, to be able to, show that what we can do and expand our route tree.
And how do you think this new offense really is going to take advantage of your skill sets, so far through the development and what you've experienced so far through offseason and now?
Right. So far, what I've seen, I feel like the offense kind of allows us to get the ball in our hands and, able to get some yak. Allows us to, play to our abilities. Allows us to play pretty free, a lot more confident. I feel like as a whole offense, we feel like just more confident within the offense and ourselves.
A lot of it, Chris really talked about the fact that he doesn't consider you like a 2. It's like he's one and you're 1B. What do you think the potential could be for you two as a 1-2 punch heading into this season?
Right. I feel like for us, the sky's the limit. We can go as far as we want to. We're very talented as a whole receiver room. We hold each other to a high standard, and we kind of go as each other goes. And we continue to push ourselves each and every day, and I feel like the sky's the limit.
You worked a lot with Derek Carr, but what have you thought about Jake Haynes, his progression from year 1 to year 2?
Yeah, no, he looks a lot more confident. He's slinging it. He looks really good out there. I feel like he's grown a lot. His mindset is in the right place, and as long as he continues to show what he shows, has shown, he has a bright future ahead.
We hadn't had to see it yet because you got to put the pads on yet, but what do you think about the increased blocking responsibilities because you're not the biggest dude?
Right, yeah, I'm gonna do whatever it takes, to be on the field. I got to do it. If I want to, be able to make the plays that I want to, I also got to block, and that's a big part of our offense, and it's going to be a big part of our play action game as well. So to be able to block is going to be big, and I'm gonna have to do it.
Okay, what about the kickoff rule? What do you kind of think about that? Because that changes some of what you do too.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm in favor of it. I love it. I feel like it's an opportunity for us to score a lot more points, to get better field position. So I'm really excited to how that's going to turn out.
As someone who excels in the return part of the game, and it's obviously something that you spend a lot of time on, is that nice to see just the league kind of bringing that back? Because it just feels like for a while, kick returner became something that didn't necessarily have as much investment.
Right, yeah, no, I feel like the league wants to see, those big plays again. And this is the perfect, format for it. We're always going to have the ball in our hands and to be able to make a play. And, like I said, score points for our team. I feel like it's set up for success.
And on a scale of 1 to 10, how loud has Darren Rizzi been about this whole process? It seems like it's something he's going to be.
Yeah, that is the emphasis. He's super loud about everything, but he knows that this is going to be a big focal point. And like I said, it's going to be very important for field position for our team. So it's got to be a big emphasis, and it's going to be a big play within the game of football. And so he's going to be real stickler about it.
How important is it for you with who's back there with you because they could just not kick to you for a while?
Right. Yeah. No. I feel like Coach Riz has a good idea of what he wants to do with scheme wise, whether if he wants a bigger body like Taysom or a skill player like myself. It's going to be interesting. We could do a lot of different things. Could show a lot of different things. So I'm excited to see what he draws up.
From a terminology standpoint, how does this offense differ from the one you played in previous years from a terminology standpoint?
I would say it's a little more simpler. It's more, I feel like, formation-based rather than, that's tough. I'll, I'll come back to that one.
Rashid,
Yeah.
like the new offense, bigger role.
Yes.
Like, how important has your mental process been this offseason? And just like kind of getting yourself ready to step into maybe something bigger for yourself.
Right, yeah, no, I know that my role was going to be bigger going into this offseason. I tried to make that a focus into being in the best shape that I possibly could, knowing that, there might not be many times where I come out the game. There's Coach Koob is going to be counting on me to make a lot of plays for this team, and I'm super excited for that role, and I feel like I'm ready for it.
You have to, like with the expanded roles, that include like making sure you're even more on top of the offense and I don't know, just like the kind of process you go through just getting ready,
Yeah. I feel like Coach Koob wants me to move around to know all the positions on the field so he can be able to put me in, positions to have success. He's excited for me, and I'm just excited to, be able to play with a coach like that who believes that I can make the plays for him.
Do you like being close to home with training camp?
Absolutely, it doesn't get much better than this. It's beautiful weather out here. It's an amazing area, so it feels good to be back.
How different is it not having fans out here?
It is a little different. Fans always bring a little extra, juice to practice. We do miss them. We would love for them to be able to be out here with us. But for now, we just got to lock in and be able to practice without it, and we'll be all right.
Doing individual drills, catching the rugby balls. Have you ever done anything like that before? And what do you make of that drill? What does it help with?
Yeah, no, that's pretty new to me. I feel like it just kind of helps with, getting your hands, kind of spreading your fingers out a little bit. That's what at least Coach Doug tells us. We just do what he tells us to do. But yeah, no, I feel like it helps a lot. It's obviously a bigger size ball. So once you catch a regular football, it kind of feels a little different and a little bit easier. So I think it's helpful.
Can you think of other instances where you borrowed from other sports? I know you did track, and I don't know, you still sprint on a track or whatever, or other sports to prepare for playing football, or use other balls to prepare for playing football? Similar to the rugby drill, is there anything that you've done on your own with coaches that borrow from other sports?
Like you referred to with track and field. During the off season, I try to, still implement that into a lot of my training. Speed is a big part of my game, so I got to keep it, and it always gives me an advantage. Can't really coach speed. So yeah, that's always been a big part. But I spent a lot of time with Coach Dub this off season, so doing his drills and a lot of his work to be able to prepare me for what we're going to do out here has helped a ton.
What has Coach Dub brought to the receiver group just in terms of like getting y'all closer? It seems like just the group itself has spent a lot of time with each other this offseason.
Yeah, absolutely. Coach Dub is absolutely amazing. I feel like he's the perfect coach for this group. He came in and the first day he made it feel like family. And I'm very excited to have a coach like him. I feel like he's one of the best receiver coaches in the league, and he makes the game so much more simple. He makes you think less, and he makes you feel more confident just in yourself. And just the energy he brings every day, from the moment we step into the meeting rooms to out here on the practice field, he's ready to go. And if we're not matching his energy, then it's going to be a long day for us.
He tells us that he expects you to grow in every area this year. How has he really pushed you in those aspects?
He basically just continues to stay on me. He knows where I want to be as a player. He knows where all of us want to be as players. But we spend a lot of time, having one-on-one conversations. And he spent a lot of time around some of the best guys in the league. And he tells me how they kind of approach, the games and practices, and just that kind of insight on how the best do it. He tells me, and the conversations that we have, I feel like they are very beneficial and going to help me continue to grow.
He also highlighted the relationship you and Chris Olave have. You could delve into how close you two really are with you and the brotherhood you both have.
Yeah, no, we're very close. We've known each other for a long time from the same city, and we take pride in continuing to play for our city and make big plays on the field. But yeah, we're super close. That's my guy. I love seeing him out here making plays, and we both continue to push each other each and every day. And as long as we continue to do that, we're going to be special.
You said a long time, but when did that friendship begin?
Well, I feel like we've kind of known each other for a long time. I wouldn't say that he's a little bit younger than me, obviously, but you know we've known of each other for a long time. I'll say that.
So were you down, or was that a strip, or were you going to go to the field?
I was down, man. You know, the defense always gets excited when they see the ball on the ground, but I was down.
Anything else for Rasheed? What do you think about that on that particular play?
That was a great ball. That was a great ball. You put it low, you put it exactly where it needed to be. You know, it was a tight window, very tight window, and you know I was able to go down and make the play. That's just an example of how Jake has improved. You know, making it easy for us to make plays for him.
Thank you, Rasheed.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
You have Jake.
How's it going? Who's up first?
I think as a young quarterback, can you talk about the balance between making maybe a throw that you shouldn't make versus making the right read?
Yeah, I mean, I think you know, especially in competition mode, you want to try to show what you can do, but I think that comes with you know, being mature, being grounded, not trying to do things out of your framework. You know, especially with at times limited reps, right? You got to try to make plays, but I think also these coaches are paying attention to the decisions you're making. So, you know, I always got to remind myself to just reel it in, stay composed, go through my progressions, and listen to my feet.
So how you got about the day you had today?
I thought today was great. I mean, I don't think I had any completion today. I think I was, you know, taking care of the football. I thought I listened to my feet well. I thought I took chances when I had the opportunity to, and I thought I checked the ball down when it was required. So. Overall, strong day. You know, I think for me the biggest thing is just as a young player staying consistent, stacking day after day, because I know I can make any throw out there that that's required in this offense. But I think it's just being detailed and disciplined with that.
This time last year it was kind of understood that you were like the number 3 quarterback.
Yeah.
How'd your mindset sort of change this season?
You know, I think I got to go into this camp the same way. No fear. Have that underdog approach. You know, I think last year, looking back at it, I had a great camp. I did a lot of really good things, and I think, going into this offense, just learning this system, continuing to build on it, and I feel really comfortable with it. But also knowing that I haven't repped everything in the system. So, not being too hard on myself, but being, disciplined with my approach. And having that swag when I'm out there on the field.
Understanding they're going to rotate you and Spencer, like maybe on a day-to-day basis, who knows, but like to come back the way like you're working at the 3s yesterday, but you're now at the 2s and have a really good day. Does that do anything for you, confidence-wise?
You know, I always try to tell myself I got to be the most confident guy out there, no matter what the circumstance is. No matter the situation, I'm just going to keep going through my progressions, keep making throws, and keep trying to lead the guys on the field. So no matter what group it's with, I'll have great command, and like I said earlier, just keep trying to stack days.
Could you walk us through the throw to Shahid on the kind of side there? Or?
Was it the 7-on-7, or was it the down here on this right sideline? The catch it low. Yeah, so we had double dig called, and I tried to hold that safety. They're playing quarters, so I just needed to pay attention to him, make sure he wasn't going to undercut it. Jonathan made a great break on the ball, but Shahid ran a great route. We were on time, threw it low and away, only where he could catch it. And when you're precise and when you listen to your feet in this offense, good things happen.
Jake, are you kind of excited to see what Shahid can do, stepping into a bigger role, maybe getting more opportunities, ball himself?
Yeah, I mean, the guy's one of the most explosive playmakers probably in this league. They paid him for a reason. They want him around here. They want to see what he can do, in the future. And I think the more opportunities he gets, he'll continue to show people. And, same kind of situation. Guy was an undrafted free agent from Weber State. He carries a chip on his shoulder, and we need guys around like that on our team.
You catch a battle one?
I actually have a rare form of skin cancer. So for my age, it's kind of rare that it pops up like that. So I'm trying to get that evaluated with our training staff. I have a consultation with doctors August 1st on our off day to try to figure out how long I can wait because I have to get a different procedure done on my face. So we're just kind of trying to take the necessary steps in order to see how long I can wait till I have to get that procedure done.
How do you juggle that with this? I mean, I imagine that's...
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of something that just popped up, and I was kind of worried about it. My family was kind of worried about it. It was just this random, odd-looking bump that kept growing, and for me, it was something that I don't see a lot. I don't have a lot of, acne like that. And it popped up, and we need to go to the dermatologist. They removed it. They did a biopsy on it, and came back last week, right before camp, that it was just kind of a rare form of skin cancer for my age, like I said. And, we got to get that evaluated with doctors August 1st. So we'll take the necessary steps that it takes, and then hopefully when we get back to New Orleans after the preseason, I'll be able to get that procedure done.
When did you see it pop up?
It popped up about a week before we reported, week and a half before we reported. So it was kind of like, something that just popped up. And when things like that pop up, you got to do your best to not ignore it. You got to go take care of it. My family was great. Training staff has been great about dealing with it with me, and obviously just trying to stay focused on what I got to do here.
Are you doing okay mentally?
Yeah, I'm okay mentally. It's just something, like I said, I got to take care of and do the necessary steps. And the people here, the people in the building, organization has been great, helping me deal with that.
What's it called?
I kind of want to just keep it between our organization right now.
But you're not sure yet if the treatment will interfere at all with your football schedule.
Like I said, we're kind of going through the necessary steps right now. And August 1st, we're going to go to a different doctor, get evaluated, and we'll go on from there.
So, will that determine the severity of it, or?
It's just kind of how long I can wait until I need to have a procedure done. It's not going to be like a life-threatening thing right now. But like I said, if you're with these skin cancer things, if you wait, things spread. So I just got to get it taken care of.
AJ, what kind of goes through your mind when the doctor first says that word?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I feel like I'm pretty young and healthy to be able to just have something like that pop up. But I want to take care of it, and I want to be responsible about it, and obviously not make it a distraction, because I'm going to be fine. Everything's going to be taken care of. But like I said, I don't want to wait too long with something like this, and I want to get it handled. And like I said, the organization has been great with communicating with me and setting things up to make sure I'm healthy.
I heard you had a hole-in-one on a par 4.
I did get a hole-in-one on a par 4 on a lighter note. Yeah. Yeah, no, it was great. That was back in March or something like that in Florida. I was down in Florida playing golf. Met a couple guys out there. They invited me back out to play with 2 foursomes, and 8 guys were on the tee box. The next group cleared. It was about 320-yard par 4, and sometimes you get lucky.
What course, what hole?
It was Plantation Palms, hole 15 or 16.
Wait, most important question: what tee box?
We were playing the backs. It was 320. It was a poke.
I know.
I mean, there was water left and right. It was good.
What did you hit, driver?
I did hit driver. Yeah. Hit a nice cut into the breeze. Landed soft for me. Got lucky.
You had. Derek said you're the best golfer on the team, and he has a 2 handicap.
I'm a plus 2.2 right now. So, yeah.
Is that your first hole-in-one?
That was my third.
First on a par 4, then.
First on a par 4. Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Brett, are you going to use that in any story? I want to know. I want to see that.
Tyron, yesterday, Tamari Davis pretty kind of emphatically spoke, saying people should be supporting Dennis Allen and Derek Carr, and that it's, there's a lot of expectations around here because of what Sean Payton and Drew Brees did, but kind of take a step back. Appreciate what that. How you kind of make of that?
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably second that. I didn't really read the whole quote or see the whole interview, but I feel the same way, man. I've had a lot of great coaches, over the course of my career. I think DA is up there, with some of the best of them, especially on the defensive side of the ball. I think anytime a coach takes over a team, like that's growing pains. You know what I mean? Like, it's things that he has to learn, as well. And as far as Derek, man, like, it's hard to kind of replace a legend. You know what I mean? So, but he took it well. I think this year, man, you saw some growth. Especially with him, and the younger receivers. So, that's all you can ask for, man. And, each and every day, man, he come out here and he's the same guy. He's leading us. And so we support him.
And Tyron, the things that you don't do as well physically as you did 10 years ago, better position now because you've thought it through more than your physical not taking over?
Yeah, I mean, physically, I don't think I've ever been, gifted. I think my RAS score was like, pretty average. You know what I mean? So, but for me, it was always about effort, attitude. The way I practice. The way I embrace coaches and teammates. Those things have always given me an edge. And anytime I get on the football field, it's all about practice and the things that you work throughout the weekend. I take those things seriously. And I think every time I've showed up, on game day, I've always felt like I had the advantage. You know what I mean? So, but physically, I've always been not Patrick Peterson. I think I've always been Tyrann Mathieu.
Is that why you think you've lasted as long as you have in the league?
Yeah, a lot of prayers, man. A lot of support, and like I said, I've taken this thing serious. When I came in this league, I had a lot of different opinions about me and kind of who I was as a person. And since day one, I've just always taken this thing serious. And 12 years later, I still do. So I really think that's why I've lasted so long. And I make plays too.
Did you see with this defense that, or like the conversation some people talk about is like, because this is a veteran age group, like, will they drop off? I'm just wondering, like, what you see that drop off isn't occurring. What are signs you look for? Is that something you even pay attention to? That like you guys are still performing at the peak?
Yeah, I mean, each and every year is different. I think each and every year your body feels different. But I think the older you get, man, you just have to kind of have to embrace it. You know what I mean? Like, no, I'm not young anymore. I don't run as fast as I used to. Probably don't hit as hard as I used to. But I think anytime you come out here, I mean, I think a big part of football is, and the reason why we love this game is because when we come out here, like we're kind of feeding off each other. You know what I mean? So, being around young guys and being around Latin, Alante, and Debo. I think just that alone kind of gets your energy up and ready to go.
Right, Demario was saying that like for his position, he looks at like even younger like Fred Warner, right, and stuff like that. There are younger players that kind of make him.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean that's part of it. I think we're all fans of the game. I think we all appreciate great players, and so whether you're a young guy or an old guy, it's kind of cool to be able to look across the league and kind of compare yourself to other guys.
How different is it just not having fans out here cheering for you?
Yeah, it's not the same, man. I was talking about that earlier with a couple guys, and it's cool to be out here. Definitely. We miss home. You know what I mean?
When you say it's not the same,
obviously it's not as hot. And I don't see my kids. I don't see my family in the stands. So just that alone is a little different.
Tyrann, you're one of a few double-digit year veterans on this team, and Cam and Demario the last couple of days talked about, time is not real. You never know whenever it could be over. You've been on a couple of Super Bowl appearance teams, and the way that the intensity has been so far this offseason, how much does that really parallel to what the team needs to reach that level? Yeah, man, I think we're getting there. You know what I mean? And like I said, earlier in the spring, man, it kind of started, with our exit meetings, from last season, and we got a lot of motivated guys. You know what I mean? Me and Demario was talking about that, earlier, and just the expectations I think we have for ourselves. We really haven't lived up to it. So we got another chance to do it, and I think everybody's motivated, and everybody has different motivations. I think some guys are in contract years, and a lot of us are trying to prove that we can still do it. So it's just a good place to be in, I think, as a team. How does it feel to wear a beanie right now?
A beanie? I feel cool.
Hey, Tyrann, it's a little off topic, but Jacoby Jones being with us tomorrow. Did you know him well?
I met Jacoby a few times. I played against him a few times throughout the league. Obviously a Louisiana kid, and every time I saw him, man, he was always full of life. You know what I mean? And he was a great player too. He was one of those great role players that understood his impact and his role. And still remember when the lights came back on in the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? And he took it to the house, and like that. Those are one of those moments, man, that you kind of pray for as a kid to make a play like that in the biggest game of the year, in front of your people. So, man, just wishing his family well, and really, may he rest in peace.
Tyrann, Demario
I mean, everybody's different. I think for me, you just got to know how to approach guys, how to talk to them. But I think between me, DeMario, and a lot of other guys on the defense, I think that's important. You know what I mean? Just holding guys accountable, and just kind of making them aware of their responsibilities and how much, this means to everybody.
Do you find yourself saying things to these players that a veteran said to you at a different team coming up?
Yeah. I mean, I've had a lot of great veterans, over the years, between Larry Fitzgerald and Patrick Peterson. And like I said, everybody's a different leader, and everybody's approach is different. But you kind of take things from each one of them. And, I'm getting old. I feel old as those guys were, when I came in the league. But it's fun, man. I love it. And like I said, man, it's all about accountability, just trying to hold everybody accountable to that standard.
Just further you to see who wins the starting spot across for you? I mean, does it matter at all? Or?
Nah, it doesn't really matter. I think I've played with, maybe 4 or 5 different, safeties since I've been here. It's fun, and it's competitive. I think anytime you got, 2 or 3 guys competing for a spot, I think it kind of raises the intensity, in the room, the intensity in practice. So, just trying to push all those guys along and, made the best one, win.
When I was at LSU, you were asked about it at your camp already, but what was your reaction when you found out Corey Raymond was coming back to LSU?
I was happy, man, because before that, it was hard. You know what I mean? It was some 3rd and 8, some 3rd and 9s. We should have got off the field, and we didn't. So, but Corey, man, he has a unique way of connecting with guys and motivating them and challenging them. I didn't really have a chance to play for Corey because the year he came in was the year I got suspended. But obviously, he coached me in the spring, and just those 3-4 months alone kind of made me appreciate him as a coach, and I wish I could have played for him. But yeah, he's one of those rare coaches that you get that just relates to guys in a way that most guys can't.
Knowing both how hard it is to keep a roster together and how hard it is to win a Super Bowl, do you ever have conversations with DeMario and Cam about y'all wanting to win a Super Bowl while this particular defensive group is still together?
For sure. Like I said earlier, me and DeMario kind of had that conversation earlier, right? And it was kind of talking about legacy. And, it'd be a shame, like, if I came back home and teamed up with DeMario and Cam and, a lot of great, other great guys on the defense, and, we don't punch our ticket. You know what I mean? Like, we don't live up to the hype or the expectations or the standards that we kind of set for ourselves. So, we're conscious of it, but we don't let it affect our day-to-day. We're just trying to put as much work in as we can, and, once we get to game days, kind of let it loose.
Do you still find training camp, I guess, like, do you still approach training camp, like, the same attitude you may have, like, years ago? Like, you look at Cam, and he's still running all the way down the field, like... Yeah,
I mean, you are who you are. You are who you are. Whether you're in year 1 or year 12, year 19, right? Like, you are who you are. And so it's just important to be who you are and, show up and, understand that a lot of these young guys are kind of looking to you, trying to find their way. So, it's important to kind of show up and be the same guy, every day.
What would it mean to you to punch your ticket this year knowing that the game's in your city?
I mean, it would mean a lot. Obviously, that's a long way, down the line. It's a lot of work you got to put in to get to that game. And, we just got to take it step by step, game by game. And, like I said, man, we just got to find a way to continue to hold people accountable and, make sure that everybody's kind of, pushing towards that standard and kind of hitting their head on the ceiling, you know what I mean, each and every day.
Hey, Tyler, when you talk about being one of the older guys, are there examples of, like, some of these young guys do and they make you feel old? Like, the music they listen to is
Well, I'm like the team DJ, so, every now and then I got to play, like, some little baby or some young boy that, I don't really want to, like, I don't want that to be my vibration, early in the morning, but, sometimes you got to take one for the team, you know what I mean? Yep, appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Yeah, can I get your help with this? One of these,